You can hear my music in TV shows, but probably not too prominently, except on the show Chop Suetes, where they used one of my pieces as the intro theme. When I was really young, I created something called Groove Shadows, which kind of put me off into a sound design realm, and I've been chasing frontiers of sound for a very long time since that time. And when my first big start in music was having a classical orchestra perform one of my pieces, and from there I started working on sample CDs. From sample CDs, I moved over to California from Florida and started working in sync music and whatever music jobs I could get over there, but predominantly, of course, sync music. And I worked with a fellow named Mars Laser who hooked me up to a lot of different kinds of production music, which is sync music. And I've created about 400 works for that world of production music. And then here in Florida, I have created maybe 400 or 500 works that are just a hodgepodge of things, a very large mosaic of different kinds of music. In the sync world, I have about 150 shows that have used my music, and I have around 1,100 placements and counting, which is really awesome. Let's see. On my YouTube channel, I have 3,000 videos, variety videos. And so I tried initially to just do things that would be of some kind of use, whether it's cooking or tutorial or music technology or something like that to make the channel worthwhile. But essentially the whole idea of the channel, I'll be honest, is to promote my music. So while I've been here in Florida, because I did return to Florida, I've been continuing my musical pursuits, just creating new kinds of music, getting back into sound design and groove shadows, and working in the production music kind of realm, sort of creating concepts that would fit multi-format. What else? So another way to get an idea of what I'm about, because it's just a lot, is I don't have a press organization, I don't have a promoter, I don't have an agent, and I don't want to be any part of that. I don't want to be any part of that whole thing. And so I have to sort of represent, and it takes a while to explain what I do and what I'm about. So one thing you can do is sort of look over, since you're on YouTube, you can look at my home tab on YouTube, and I've set up the playlist so you can see like music, you can see some tutorials that I've done, or you can see some sort of, placements of my music. You can see the different kinds of music to some degree. But remember, there's about 500 tracks that are kind of around that YouTube realm and counting. And so basically it takes a while to sort of get a grip on all that's going on there. And there, a lot of the stuff will not be suited for your personal taste, but there's really a huge variety of things there. And there's some exclusive things that, because I'm a frontier sort of oriented creative, I've designed that don't exist elsewhere. And a good example of that is the Groove Shadows concept, and I created another thing called Extras lately. And you might hear some ideas of that elsewhere, but I really tried to focus on those things because they're so progressive and creative, and they help me grow, basically, and push myself. You can check out my IMDb, and on my IMDb I try to keep the latest bio, and on the IMDb you can also, of course, see the placements that are prominent of my works. In other words, the best shows that I can find in my cue sheets or whatever, to see who has utilized my work, which I'm, again, very, very proud of that. I have APM Music and Sony and UMG and Mars and BMG and Sonaton and Sonic Librarian, SPM Music Group to thank for that. And also you can check out my LinkedIn. You can either search CMDess on LinkedIn or Charles Desser on LinkedIn, and it should pull up my LinkedIn feed. And I have a couple of different sort of discographies and sort of info sheets or EPKs, electronic press kits. But on my LinkedIn, I try to come up with some other stuff too. So on my YouTube and on my LinkedIn, those are really my main portals where I put out whatever I got going on. It could be an idea, or on YouTube it could be some dish that I just made, or a piece of music, or a video to describe a tutorial, or something to this effect. So those are some of the things I have going on with my career here in 2025. And I really just, I'm a purist in terms of trying to create the best possible music I can. So a little quick backstory on CMDess is I was raised by a DJ mother, so I was exposed to a lot of music and radio stations and all this kind of stuff as a kid. But I also was partially raised by my grandfather, who was a ballroom dancer, a violinist, a saxophone player, and listened to all kinds of music, loved all kinds of music. And his son, who was my father, who passed shortly after my birth, he was also a Juilliard trained pianist. So there's a lot of musical happenings in my world, and I was exposed to a lot of musical influences very young. But I really didn't take interest in music seriously until I hit about 12 or 13. And that's about the time the Classical Symphony had performed one of my pieces that I created using, hodgepodge of tools back in the day. So anyways, that's what's going on with CMDess in 2025. And my latest projects include more groove shadows and more songs to develop the best kinds of songs I can with the best tools that I can get on my hands. So I do the singing, I do the production, I do the mixing, I do the engineering, I do the sound design, the drumming, the simulations of drumming and all these kinds of things, the loop creation, all the stuff you hear in my compositions, whether it's the string part or the timpani or the drum kit or the 808 or the synthesizer or the vocal, 99% of that is me. So there's also a few covers that I've done on my YouTube channel, and those are really inspiring songs, so I wanted to cover them, and it was a pleasure to be able to do that, and hopefully I can do some more of that in the future as well. So all right, I'll leave it at that. That's a ton of information, but it's really difficult to distill like all the things I have going on. You just have to sort of try it out if you want to, if you have the time. So thanks for stopping by.